him the money, but my mother was like, "What'd you just tell him?" I said, "I am all done talking to him. He's a grown man. I am not going to say."
So why did you go pick him up when he got into trouble? So what is it in you that allows you to accept
The
certain way to be
mother. It's
treated?
just the mother of me.
I'm
Well, he
gonna
was. He was in work, and they told us crap, but he parked in a no parking zone, a loading zone.
okay.
So
So he was
yeah.
in for a long time then, for them to tow his
Well, he
car.
was working, and he parked there. And he went to work,
I
and
see.
instead of he works in Boston, so you can tell it every 2 hours from feeds the meter. He didn't know it was a loading zone. He didn't know different colored meters.
So he comes and he calls you. You go pick him up.
Yeah, and we and I pay for it to get it out because his check hadn't come in. So I'm looking at
Is
it.
he going to give you back the
He
money?
paid me back the
Okay.
next day, but then borrowed it back the next day, plus extra. He gave it back to me. I said, "Don't give it back to me. It was just yesterday. Hold on to it. Make sure your bills are paid." No, I'm all set. Very next day, he goes, "Can I have that money back? Some of that?" And I said, "Yeah, I left him 50." And then he picked that up an hour later. He goes, "Oh, I had something come up. Can I borrow some more?" I said, "Well, no."
Is he going to give it back to you or
Yeah,
no?
he'll give it back to me because he usually doesn't borrow money from me.
Okay.
So I was shocked. But it's like I look at it as if I don't go and get him and take that car out, it's going to cost him more money.
Okay. So you were very considerate. So
it
it cost you
more money.
time, and then it cost you money,
Mhm.
and in turn he never even says, "I'm
doesn't
happy"
know.
or "I'm grateful" or.
So he just the next thing that happened because I actually went on Facebook and I went, I enjoyed spending the past few days with my son, kind of like sarcastic, like,
And
it wasn't a good time that we spent together, but I was there for you when I did it, and no response even there. Like, thanks, mom, nothing. He's just pull over down the street.
So something interesting happened in my life too. My son, right? Last week was our vacation week, school vacation week. The kids. So they wanted to come back early. So I drive them. Their father stayed back in New Hampshire. So we come back home. On the way back, the only thing I want from them is to check in with me when we come back home to make sure they are alive. That's all I worry about. And they refused to answer. And I said, if you refuse to answer, I'm not even asking for permission. I'm not even saying. And they believe like 18 years of age, something magical happens,
Yeah,
and
they
they are
don't
an
never check
adult.
in. My son's 16, he never checks in.
And so I was telling them, if you're going to act out like this, I'm turning right back, and we are going back to New Hampshire. I turned back. He jumped out of the running car. So I called the police. The reason is I felt I want to send them a strong message. First of all, I am the authority figure there. It's not their dad. And you have to respect who's giving you household that night. So when the cop comes in, he knows those local cops. He's very pleasant. "Hey, officer." And then the officer tells me, if you transport him against his will, you'll be arrested for kidnapping.
Because he's over there, because he's 18.
18. And I didn't know
Can you
this. And
imagine?
he says, "Yeah, that's what I guessed." So he is like very pleased. So then he says to them, "I thought she's going to call dad and get his permission." So he's like kind of ticked off that I called them.
Mhm.
But I wanted to send a very strong message. See, the thing is, I have found I don't like smart assholes nowadays. I have come to this phobia about smart assholes. Like I have a very severe problem with this. Whether it's a patient or my family, I am done.
Yeah.
I have lived in this country long enough to know that's the first thing we need to correct. And actually, he's very good kid. But I'm not going to put up with BS anymore. So
Yeah.
I actually looked at the officer. I said, "I'm appalled at you." I said, "Do you know when I was pregnant with my third kid, my husband called the police, and because he called first, I am the abuser, and I was homeless one night, and he's now 15." He says, "Oh, it happened 15 years ago, not on my watch." I'm like saying, I said, "Hello, this considered abuse."
Yeah.
So then afterwards, right, my another officer showed up. He was elderly, and he says to Chris, "Chris, do you still live with your parents?" He says, "Yes."
This is the guy you
He
want
says,
talking.
"Wouldn't it be common courtesy to show respect?" they clothe and feed you.
Yeah.
So that's actually, see, I'm glad there are some sane people in the
Right,
police
that's the guy you
department.
needed,
You know,
somebody
like
that was old,
so.
old
So
school
that's
generation
when
like
I
us.
told the police. I said,
Like us,
the
yeah.
reason I called you is some sort of a running car, and you're telling him that's considered kidnapping. And I'm
Right.
appalled at the way you don't even support a family.
Right.
And I said, this is ridiculous.
It's not like you
So,
were abusing
then
him
I
when he
said
was
to Chris,
escaping.
I said, Chris, get in the car. I said, this nonsense stops here now, you know. So Chris says to the officer, instead of answering me, says to the officer, what if she takes off? So they blocked my car. One car in the front, one car in the back. You wouldn't believe the kids in a way. So then,
I
you know,
believe it.
actually, by this time, you know, I have done so many emotional training with myself. Nothing scares me or makes me cry. You know, it's like so out of order, this country. I think this legal system is really only destructing families. I think it's one of the
That was a
cruel
bad
thing
thing.
that Americans have to face, this legal system. So then he calls his father. Even after he got into car, he still needs his father to tell him what to do. Not like, you know, I am the one reason he came back, and I'm the one he is going to live with that night. So his father, right, says, give the phone to mom. So I told my husband, I said, I need only answer for two choices. Are you coming home tonight, or am I coming to New Hampshire? I said, no other conversation. He says, neither is happening. I hung up on him. I said, in crisis, you don't negotiate. Like, you know, you need your answers. So I told I need to go back to New Hampshire then. So he jumped out of the car again, and he started walking. So the officer watched him go, and the youngest one, he tried to get out. I said, if you get out, you're having a problem with me. I said, I'm going to go for custody tomorrow. So he got a police officer said, you have to go with her.
Yeah,
She's
'cause
in charge.
She's 15.
So I said, and I have at the other office. I went that night. We slept. Next day morning, I picked up my middle son. Meantime, my husband came home that night. He says, you should have asked me whether you needed my support instead of saying, do you want to do this? I wanted to do neither. I said, don't correct my English when I'm in crisis, right? Like, you know, it's like ridiculous. All this bullshit they may go through, right? So I told the kid, I said, this original marriage we had ended tonight. So I took out my wedding ring. Actually, I don't wear it anymore. I said, for spirit, I'll be married to you forever. But I said, this ridiculousness has to stop. I'm not staying engaged in this marriage anymore. So I disengaged. I said, like, you know, we can be common law wife and husband and whatever. And if I have to go to court, I'm willing. I am doing it 100%, you know, whether you want to. In that case, he says, you need to move out. I said, sure. I said, do you want me to move out tonight? He's like confused.
Now you're agreeing with him.
I'm like, so he says, why don't we negotiate? I said, sure. So I told my middle son, I said, do you want to come talk to me before I take off to work? So he says, Mom, I'm sorry. I overreacted. I said, no. I said, you were perfect. You were excellent in your behavior. What you showed me is to be a perfect sociopath. You were very appropriate with a police officer. You never raised your voice. You were very pleasant to be around. But you knew exactly who not to respect, who to respect. That takes enormous schooling of emotion. I said, I'm so glad that we came here. You showed excellence in behavior. I said, all these skills, if you put it into good use, you can be better. But if you're going to behave that way, I don't need to be a mother. I said, I can sign off today. You tell me what type of a mother you want in me. He says, financially support me. I don't need anything else from you. That's what he said. Oh. I said, okay. So my husband says, you need to be very proud of that. See how he's making good choices? I said, sure. What did you hear? My husband, I asked him. So he says to me, I told my son, I said, Chris, there is a difference between freedom and independence. Until you're dependent on me financially, until you're dependent on going to college and me raising you, you cannot be free. Until then, I have to be a mother with you. You like it or not. So he says, okay, go for it. So my husband says, see, he didn't say I cannot have a relationship with you. So I'm like saying, okay, from today, I inherit this adult moron. He's that's my child. And then I have two adult kids, and I have a child to raise. Can you believe it? Like I am saying, these are insane people I live with. But they assume they are the sane ones and I'm
Yes.
the crazy one.
Mhm.
I'm saying, oh
That's
my
why my
God.
son says,
I
you
know-
don't,
I
you don't even understand, you don't even know what you're talking about, so just stop talking.
And you know what they told me? My husband says, see, we are the majority. And when majority people agree, you are insane. I said, okay. And I didn't cry. He says, call your dad or your sister. They will tell you how bad it is. So I said, I don't think they can help me. So he says, see how bullheaded you are. And you know what my husband said? If you're in India on the roadside, you will be beaten. And he says, that's what would happen to you. We are so gracious. We allow you to stay with us. But sure. I don't think he has any idea about culture. He has no idea
I
about
must have wanted to kill him when he said that.
he just showed me how his brain is. That's all. It
Now,
showed
do you
me
go
how
home at night and make them dinner and you do the laundry,
I
you
think-
clean the house.
I
you do
think
all that?
what I find is a stinking thinking brain. And that guy running the household, he proved the perfect graduation was on 19th of April, because that's when it all came down, Thursday night. So to restructure it, so I took out my wedding ring. I said, okay, let me find out, what my rights to raise adult kids are, because that's exactly where I am. So I need to figure out, what are the expectations, how to put it into place, and the minute we reconcile, meaning we were negotiating. I told my middle one, I said, the only thing you should have done is, Mom, can we negotiate? That's all. As an adult, that's how you come out of crisis. Crisis, you don't make all these choices. Another person making decision for you. That doesn't show adult skills.
Right.
So, I'm trying to teach him. And then my eldest one never ever calls me, okay? He calls and he says, Mom, what's up with you? These guys are talking. So I said, okay. So I said, you called the cops on your son? I cannot believe it. I said, do you know that I'd be arrested for kidnapping?
I didn't know that.
And so, he said, oh, now that you called, my iPhone needs fixed. I said, you're coming home in 2 weeks? Is that what you want to talk about in crisis? So then I hang up the phone. And you know what my husband says? Oh, we went on vacation. Are you going to share the whole expenses or half the expenses? So these people, including my husband, only wanted money from me. So I told my husband, I am broke this month. I said all the IRS fees were paid, and I bounced one of IRS check for Massachusetts. I said, I'm totally broke. And I said, you're bringing this up when I'm in the middle of doing this. He says, you know what he told me? Instead of even getting a clue, he says, do you know you could have borrowed from me? That's what he said. And this guy who thinks in India will be beaten. In India, we don't go to work. The husband takes care of the wife. Here, I take care of him and he manages, including me. But that is
It's
my...
tough when you have to see, because it was always my husband, and then I had 4 boys, so I was the only girl. So it was like, not that I would bow down, but my kids knew I would only take so much, and then when I got to a certain point, my voice would change, and they would scare.
No, I don't ever change my tone. I speak to them exactly how I speak to you. But what I am learning is the need for money never stops, because
No, it
my
doesn't.
dad is now dependent on me. When he comes, he wants me to pay for his rent. So I'm raising 3 generations financially to be dependent on me. So my father, my husband, my children. So I really need to understand, because all these are adults that I'm raising again one more time, and they never give you a break. And the problem is, I am the breadwinner still, and these are the men who are supposed to be working and being taken care of, and there's no evidence. They say they're grateful, but my husband, the minute, even now, if I say, hey, we need to have structure, he says, you need to get out. Even now, like, even today, he's running the household as though it's his territory. So not even equal opportunity. And the police officer, even I bring it up, he still thinks it's okay because he still thinks it's adult household. And I'm saying, when does this USA going to wake up?
Yeah, I have got thrown. My boyfriend called police. I mean, they threw me in jail. And there was a woman in there because her and her daughter were fighting her. Her mother wanted to take her cell phone away. My daughter was like 16. And she said, "You're not gonna call home or you're not gonna answer my call. I want the cell phone." They were fighting over it. And when they were struggling with it, the daughter got hit with it. And she called the cops on her mother, and the mother went to jail because she hit her with the cell phone by accident. The daughter said, "She hit me with my cell phone." And they put the mother in jail. And she had to spend the whole weekend there until, her court date. And then whatever happened after that, I don't know. But you can't.
What do you
You
think
can't
is
even
that?
spank your kid because
See, what
my
is,
niece changed her name because she didn't like her father. She changed her last name.
what do you think is the resolution?
I think it gets worse year after year. When I see people having babies now, I say, whatever you do, do not spoil them. Make them work. Because I thought I was raising my kid right. Because when he wanted a computer, I made him work for and pay half. Even he was 8. For $20 was a lot of money. He had to work. You know what I mean? I paid
No,
him
but
300.
even now you helped him with the tow truck,
and
but
I'm
he
still
doesn't say
doing it,
sorry.
and then
He doesn't say I'm grateful or.
No, and I tell them,
So
please
when
don't
does this?
spoil them. You just can't spoil them.
No, but it's
They
not
have
even
to
about
face
spoiling.
consequences for their things. You can't. I stood up for my kids when it was during sports and school. What do you mean my kids get a bad grade? And I would do their homework, and I would give them money, and if they didn't have what the other kids had, I would pay for it. And you know what I mean? You can't do that. You have to let
No,
these
but
kids
even
learn.
that, we are going beyond that. You're not understanding. Even if we give them services, they are not at a space where they think it's not that right. I think we are missing the whole point.
Well, but because the laws and everything have changed so much, I don't even know what's out there now. I didn't know transporting it. Like,
Yeah, this is something I
because to
learned.
me, as long as he lives under your roof, he's 18, 19, or 20. If he's living under your roof and you're supporting him, you're his responsibility.
No, because they said if my husband shared this, he said one of his friends was transporting his son. His son pulled a knife on him and asked for money, and the father let him out of his car 2 hours away from home because you can only draw your boundaries. Say you need to get out of my car, but you don't entertain further. So that's what I am learning. I'm learning, and I haven't understood. See, the problem is, right?
I don't even think you can kick your son out. I think if you got to real upset, say he got to that point where he pulled the knife, when I'm not calling you, I don't know if you shut his cell phone up. Do you pay for his cell phone?
No, it's my husband is in
It's
charge.
all
Because
all
see, what happened is I am supposed to pay alimony for the household. Every month I give him a cap. This money he asks for expenses for a vacation is in addition. He want a bonus.
Hmm.
He never needs to go to work. He's Mr. Mom. I pay, and still he wants more. And that's what is happening with the kids too. Third generation. My dad, same way. He gets a SSI income. He still wants more. My husband gets alimony, still wants more. My children gets paid by my husband to do household chores, still wants more because they cannot live with my. I told them I'll give him $500 computer. My son wants a $1,500 computer, and because of that, my husband says, okay, since he asked $1,500, since you decided to keep it 500, we want that 500 in addition. It's like almost like I. That's what I told him. I said, "Do you want me as your business partner? Is that what this marriage is about?" He says he wants me to be his everything. And so I am saying, okay, what is it in it for me? Seriously, nothing.
Right. I know what is in it for you.
Nothing, because you don't even get to sleep there at night unless he gives you permission.
Yeah, because I told my mother when I was living with her, she goes, "Yeah, I hate." And I called one day, and I called like the welfare officer. My mother said, "I have to get out. I have no place to go." She goes, "Your mother can't throw you out. She's gonna take you to court. You can stay there as long as you want."
Really? Wow.
So I would look into that. So if you save someday, all of his can just get out. You can't just throw your kids out. You gotta take them to court.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
I was told. This from the lady.
So we are.
I was in my 20s and I'm 50. But like I said, the laws
See,
keep changing.
right.
You just don't know.
No,
So
because squatters
it is
have
good
right.
to
Actually,
know.
there is a squatter who fought me.
Yeah.
Squatters have more right now because I had a guy who was living in my apartment. He went to court against me because he said even though he was a squatter, his apartment was not clean, unsanitary. So he fought, and his lawyer says pro bono he's fighting. If he wins, I need to pay him $12,000, and then I need to give him first, last month, and secure deposit. But it seems max 6 months only is allowed. So he lived out his 6 months, 2 years and 6 months, and he got out.
That's what they do. I was paying my rent every month. I moved out, but I didn't have a place for my cats. I didn't move out all my stuff because I was only had moved into a room.
So that's a nice rule I can use. When my husband says get out, I get 2.5 years.
Yeah. But I didn't have any place when I moved out. I had.
Oh, I shouldn't have used the word husband. I'm sorry. I should scratch. I don't know what this guy I am going to call him.
Sometimes you can't even call him your friend. I don't know.
He's not my friend because it's like
Yeah.
sleeping with your enemy.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what the relationship.
You can't even call
Everything
him your
is
friend.
changing. Oh, you know what? Actually, in Jamaica, I think I have a perfect name. Baby father. He's my baby
Your
father.
Jamaica point. No, they call that around here too. Your baby father.
My baby father.
Yeah.
From
That's what
today,
they call.
that's the word I'm going to use.
Yeah, use
But
that
you
in front
know
of the kids.
Actually, my Indian folks have no idea. My priest told me, you need to obey your husband and stay up. Say, oh my
Yeah,
God,
you need
these
to
are
say,
like,
yeah, you know,
this is way beyond crazy. And then my father, I asked him, hey, can you give me some advice? Because my baby father says, I need advice from you. My father said, I don't know. Because he himself borrows. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. I said,
still out there, right?
I know.
My landlord threw me out, and I said to the cops, I said, how can you throw my stuff out on the street? I said, I still paid him rent. He goes, there's no food in the refrigerator, it's abandoned.
Oh, really?
That's
my
why
God.
he could throw my stuff out. The little things that get you. The cop, he goes, your stuff's in there. He goes, you paid your rent, but there's no food in the refrigerator. There's no food in the refrigerator. You can't live there because how are you surviving without food? So that's called abandonment. You abandoned your stuff in there. So yes, he has all his right. He took all my stuff, threw it out on the street, and I could only had so much time to put what I put in my car. Because when I come back to get the rest, it was all gone. Lawn mowers, everything I took. The neighbors come out.
So it's
So
very
really-
interesting. So can you do some research with me? How to raise adult kids? Because I think you are in
My
the
kids
same
are-
shoes.
My kids are just moving out. My son moved out.
No, but like
I really
learn.
come back 3
See, the
times.
thing is, understanding knowledge is power, right? So let's
Yeah,
work
it
on
is,
this as
you're
a
right.
project together. Would you?
Yeah, I'll find out some things, yes, because my mother's a good one. She thinks she knows everything. But my son, when I go to talk to him, he goes, Mom, you don't know what you're talking about, so stop talking. And I hate when it does that to me. I'm like, you're like, we use 20 or 21. I'm like, I've been here, I'm 50 years old. I've been there, I've done that, I've done it twice. I've even done it like when I was told not to do it, I redid it. So don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm
Are
telling
you still living with your mother though?
No, I live out with my own, with my kids. But my son, my oldest one, he's
Are you able to afford your rent?
yeah, I get by. I get by where I can pay my rent, my car. my
So
kids
you are
get a
independent.
haircut.
You are
Oh,
financially
very
independent.
independent.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. If I have a man in my life, I still take care of myself and my kids. But I'll send him to the store to get the bread and the milk, and I'll take that money that I would have spent for it and I put it in a secret account. Nobody knows that I have a secret account. So if something, say I was living with my boyfriend and he threw me out, all right, go right ahead because I have $10,000 over here that nobody knows. My parents, nobody knows.
So
That's an
becoming
emergency.
financially independent is first priority for women like us, like who goes through this thing. The second thing I really need to understand is what is my rights to raise
As a
adult
parent.
kids.
Yeah.
No, not even as a parent. See, these are adults, right?
Yeah,
like
they
we
are
are
adults.
taking responsibility for them with no payout. Like meaning like there is no. It's like a one-way street. you put your energy, but nothing comes back. Yes, occasionally they say, I am very happy or all the words, which is meaningless. Because the minute there is a conflict, they throw you out.
Yeah.
So
and
there is no
and
commitment.
they
See, it's a one-way commitment. There is no commitment on the other side.
if they appreciated it, and they, like when I get my youngest, he's 16. He's good. My kids are good. They really are pretty good. My youngest is good.
What is good? Tell me.
Good
Because
is-
I think you're using a
I
word
don't think-
incorrectly.
to me, good is like they don't swear in front of me. They don't.
So they are
do
pleasant.
drugs.
Don't say
They-
good. That is, they are
don't
just
do
pleasant
drugs.
sometimes.
Okay, well, pleasant, but they don't do drugs. They don't stay out at night.
They have good habits.
They don't have like girls in and out of the house. They don't go through girls and treat them like crap.
So they're
they're very homebody, very quiet, very.
they're
down to
just
earth.
normal human
And
beings.
I'm lucky.
And
because-
you're grateful they are normal human
Yes,
beings.
because when I look at my son at 16, when I was hanging around with kids that was cocaine, pot.
So we are so used to
And I'm
be
saying,
a
thank
nasty
God.
human being. When they are normal, we call them good, right?
Yes, yes, they're being normal. That's normal, but normal to me was what I did. Oh, that was normal growing up. That's what we did.
This is a new normal.
And I
Which is
thank
new
God.
normal is them taking responsibility for themselves. They wipe their own ass, so you become normal.
But then they do things like I said, he owed $40 balance for his driving school, cost $700. It was a 40. I gave it to him and said to pay them. He goes, okay, now 3 weeks later, school's over, but now he has to drive. And he goes, okay. The guy says, well, book the classes, but you have a $40. I said, no, I gave that to my son. Maybe I'll ask him if you got a receipt. He goes, oh, I didn't give it to them. I spent it.
Wow.
That pissed me off. So I said, well, you know what? I signed you up, but I didn't have that $40, so now you have to wait. And I made him wait. He goes, you can't call dad? You have money. You got paid today. I says, but that money goes somewhere else. I don't have money for you to give to you to pay a bill, and you don't pay it, and then I take it from something else. So now you need to wait until I can make up that money. And I made him wait. He was mad, but he didn't say anything. He understood when I explained it to him. You know what I mean? And I just
So
told him,
I think, would you do this research with me? I think it will be really helpful for me because I'm in a crossroads and I don't know how to invest my energy anymore.
yes, and I feel bad for you because you're surrounded by all men.
No, it's not whether it's men or women. My actually my husband.
No, your
No,
youngest.
I should say my baby father had another child with another girl, and she ran away from our household when she was 17. So I feel she also went through this. So it's not like men or women. I feel their family went through another way. So it's about having adults dependent on you, but not showing respect. So like not even respect, not being responsible. See, it's not, it's way beyond respect, because what respect for me might be different for you. Like you said, them not using drugs is respect, or not abusing girls is respect. You're using respect another way. So if I have to use the correct word, it would be not being responsible to be a person who I can depend on during crisis.
Right. That's what I want to, because I say to him, now, I've had this on forever. Do you think that my kids would take out the trash? No. I said, Jake, you know that I can't lift that. Like my son, 25, he came over the other day, big thing of laundry.
Not being thoughtful.
I said to him when I went the second time to the police to take him his car, 3 days, I says, oh, I'm just in conversation. I said, I can't believe my dryer's not working. It keeps running, but it doesn't heat up. Now, this was Wednesday. What do you think he does yesterday? Comes into my house with a bag that's big of laundry. And he opens the door, and I go, I told you my dryer didn't work. He goes, oh, I wasn't listening to you. And then left his laundry there. So now I have to carry it downstairs when he knows I have this, and I can't lift things because I can't turn it. You got to pick it up.
So why don't you make him do it?
So he already left, right? But so now I get my youngest one, and I say, Jake, can you carry your brother's stuff downstairs? And he's like, I go, everything I do for you, why can't you just go, sure, Mom? Everything I do for you, all they want you to do is show me a little appreciation, a little respect, and not make that noise or that roll your eyes. Just do it. You don't know how much that would mean to me. Because I know every time I ask you to do something, either one of you, I have to repeat myself, and it's an argument. So I don't ask you for nothing, because I'd rather just do it myself and get it over with, because I'd have 15 extra minutes. I can't get back the time I'm losing right now having this conversation with you, Jake. You just wasted 15 minutes of my life. I can't get back. He's like, what? I go, see? Because that's what I say to him. I can't get the
You
sign
know
out.
what? Today morning, I made a decision never to pick up a phone call from my husband to have him text me. Because that's exactly the rolling eyes and tone. I cannot take it anymore. I'm proud of you.